everyone, I'm Heather. Back for the 5th day? Is it the 5th day? Should we September? I've already lost track of my days. I've just finished Fight Club and I'm now moving on to my prompt, which is a book I'll regret. White Ravens by Owen. These ones are like, I love these books. It's like a whole series of them where they asked Welsh authors or authors sort of big in Wales to write like short story retellings, like modern retellings or creative retellings of stories which are in the Mabinogion, like the sort of Welsh like epic poems or epic stories or like legends or whatever. And I love them, but they mess with your mind and also require a bit of looking back at the original story and sort of like Googling stuff to sort of get the full effect of it. So that's why I feel like there's an element of regret here, but I do always really enjoy them and think they're good, but they do sort of like blow your mind a bit. So this is going to be the next book I tackle. However, first of all, I have to run my kid really quick to Nero, get a bit of a sandwich, so we can then run off to the circus. We booked this like no fit state like circus performance thing with this like discount code off someone's mum at the school. And I'm excited about it, but I feel like now there's no time to sort this out. So I'm slightly stressed, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be banging.
Like it so far? Yeah?
Please, if you enjoyed the show today, do go away and tell your friends to come and see us. We're here till next Sunday, that's the 11th of September. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you think it was fun?
Yeah.
Oh, I really liked it.
Can we please talk about autumn? Okay, I think people who are like, oh, I'm an autumn person. Oh, I love autumn. Everyone loves summer, and I just love autumn. Like, I think what's going on there is that the places they live, their autumn is basically our summer. Like, it's not hot as fuck, but it's dry. Do you know what I mean? So places where it's like hot, the summer like fucking kills them and drains them because it's like 100 degrees. Then autumn comes and it's like, oh, normal degrees, you know, 70 degrees, whatever. They're like, oh, it's so lovely. That's our summer. And I also love that. I love summer, you know. Autumn in Wales is this. It fucking sucks. So I feel like those people who are like, oh, I'm an autumn person, I love autumn. Like, I think they say they love autumn, I say I love summer. We're still talking about the same fucking thing because this is not awesome. How can you love this? This is shit. Oh man, that circus thing was so cool. Like, it's not like a circus like when I was a kid, like with like caged animals and stuff that like not allowed to do anymore. But it was just sort of performers doing sort of like acrobatics and like interpretive dance and like with like loads of props and you know, like stunts and juggling, stuff like that. And it was all sort of to like a theme for the show, which I think was sort of refugees, you know, but through the ages there was like a bit of like a World War I sort of element and like Ukrainian element, and it was so good. Like, I think so the name of this circus thing is No Fit State, and I'm pretty sure it is just a Cardiff company. So I think they tour all over the UK and it is a really big like circus company, but I'm pretty sure it started in Cardiff like 30-40 years ago, something like that, and it's been here ever since. Like, it's based here. It's based, I think, in Splot, just sort of like one neighborhood over from us, really. But it was brilliant. It was so good. And like the vibe there, just for the whole time, was just like a really good vibe. So even when the performers weren't performing, people were just sort of like coming in and sitting down and, you know, like making themselves comfortable, blah, blah, blah. The people who were performers like were helping out and like setting up and blah, blah, blah. And just being like really silly and like absurd just in everything they were doing. So like this one guy was sort of like ushering people into seats, and he sort of chatted to this person who was like setting up this pulley thing, and they came over and like mwah, 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 mwah. Like they were just like kissing like for ages and went mwah, like that. Like I like they knew people were going to be watching them or not watching them or like whatever. Like it was just that like the circusy absurdity had just like engulfed their lives in this whole thing, and it just like the atmosphere was just banging. And lush. So beautiful and creative. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. But now, I'm exhausted as fuck. And I was gonna come up here and read my book for like a bit, and now I'm just like so comfortable. Like, I could just maybe shut my eyes for just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, so this book is pretty good so far. I'm only on page 30, but it's got a good setup. And I think the whole thing's like only like 150 pages. So I don't see why I wouldn't be able to finish it today, but I make no promises. So it's based on the story of Branwen, like the Welsh story, which is one of my favorites despite like a minor element of animal violence. So it's like the King of Britain and his sister Branwen and his half-brother who's a bit nuts. The King of Ireland sails over, like while they're at Harlech. There's 3 people there at Harlech. King of Ireland sails over and wants to marry the sister, wants to marry Branwen. The King of Britain's like, fine, I'm not using her, it's cool. So they have a wedding, but while the wedding's going on, the half-brother just wilds out. He goes crazy, he's like a jealous rage, and he kills all the King of Ireland's horses. So like in exchange for that, they're like, ooh, sorry, good feelies. They give him like this cauldron thing, which brings dead people back to life, but not for real, like not all the way. It just sort of like brings them back up. They can't talk, you know, they're just like zombies walking around, which only really works if you're trying to keep your army alive and fighting, which incidentally is how he uses it. So then Branwen, King of Ireland, they go back to Ireland. There's some like fervor there, like the people of Ireland are like, we've heard what happened to you in Britain, are you like this dickless king, like are you just gonna allow for that? And he was like, oh fuck, I guess not. And he like is forced to spurn his wife. Like Branwen has to work in the kitchens from now on, and she's fucked off obviously, so she's like, takes years to teach this bird how to fly to Britain and tell the king what's happened to her so that he can come and save her, and he does, or like he gives it a damn good go. Comes over to Ireland, he's like fighting them, he's like, I fucking dare you, I gotta save my sister and save our honor and blah blah blah. But the King of Ireland has this like fucking cauldron thing, doesn't he? So he keeps throwing his dead soldiers in there and they keep popping back up ready to fight, you know. So Britain is losing this war. There's also something to do with a kid, like Branwen has a kid with the King of Ireland before everything goes south, and that kid I think dies somehow, can't remember. But then it does end up with Branwen back in Britain, sort of living her life. So I think in general the story, you know, she's like a strong character. She's like, I shall survive, you know, have my honor and stuff like that. Anyway, it's a good story, and this is like a retelling of it. And so far we've started with this girl and her 2 brothers. They have lived on this farm in the Welsh hills their whole lives, and also all of their family and all of their ancestors for like hundreds of years have lived on this same spot. And they've got sheep who are bred ancestrally into this land, to know everything about this land, never stray from this land, because it's, you know, they know their home. But then foot and mouth slams hard into the farm and they have to kill all the sheep. The government sort of comes in and kills all the sheep and then provides them with like, you know, like money to sort of make up for the fact they had to kill all their sheep, and it's really awful. But the brothers aren't like very industrious, they're a bit shit. Like they're like, what am I just supposed to buy a bunch of sheep who don't know their home anymore? Like I'm gonna have to go and like flock them properly like Jesus with a stick, you know? Like they're like, no, I'm not having that. So she's basically now in London just sort of hanging out, like feeling sorry for herself. And I'm not hating it, I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty good so far. Anyway, I mainly wanted to say right now that I have the day off because it's the day before Anlyn's last day of summer break completely. It is Monday. She has to go back to school on Wednesday. So we're gonna go to the beach on the train and like have a packed lunch, maybe some chips, like whatever. But first of all,
You gotta get up, you lazy bones.
get up, wake up.
If you don't wake up in 4 seconds, you're not getting chips.
It lives! Okay, I finished it and I think I loved it. I think it's really good. Like, it's sort of like I knew that the ending was gonna be sort of something like that, but it still sort of came up and like it was like a really good ending and like I don't know, like 5 stars. Like I don't know. But I feel like I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Like it's a sort of tragic love story, you know? Like obviously it was gonna be a tragic love story. It's based on the story of Branwen, which is a tragic love story. I just really enjoyed it. It's also like to do with, you know, the ravens in the Tower of London, like that superstition where when the ravens leave the Tower of London, like the kingdom of Britain shall fall, you know, like that. So Churchill was like obsessed with it in the war. He was like, make sure the ravens stay there. Like Germany's like knocking on the door, you know, they're like, hello. Churchill's like, make sure the ravens don't leave. But anyway, I really enjoyed that. What the hell? 5 stars. 5 stars for that one. I thought that was banging. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, okay. So I have to go into the office for work tomorrow. Like, I know, disgusting. So I think tomorrow's book is going to be Bernardine Evaristo's The Emperor's Bake, because I believe I also have access to the audiobook version of this on Scribd. So if my workday ends up eating my whole day and I don't really have time to do a lot of book reading, I can audiobook instead, like early in the morning and then sort of like after dinner and stuff like that. So that's the plan. If you have any questions for me, any thoughts at all, please let me know. How's your Shorty September going? I'm loving the updates. If I fall behind on comments and stuff, just to let you know, like if you've left me a comment and I have not seen that yet, like I'm not, you know, giving up on that life. I just, you know, it's taking time to work through it sometimes, like I get stuck. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.